Hello, lovely people, my lovely subscribers, and those who watch on Facebook and then on this channel on YouTube as well. Thank you so much. The responses and the likes and the followings keeps increasing, especially on Facebook, and I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Today on the menu, we prepping Ghana's most famous dish, Waakye. Isn't it funny when it's pronounced waakye, but the originators of the dish from the northern region have a way of pronouncing waakye? Hey, don't come at me for tribalism, okay? You guys have been laughing at Ashantis with our mispronunciation of R's and L's for ages. And there's this waakye vendor in my hometown, and I could not wait to see her pass by. Because you know why? I was all for the jingle. The jingle this woman used to sell her watch went like, Waakye, udi bakwa, ubedi mianu. And I'll just wait for that and laugh my ass off. Hey, I've been a very happy person since childhood. There's nothing anybody can do about it, okay? I'm just a happy person. You put me in fire and you come and see me laughing. That annoys a lot of people. But hey, I'm a happy person. All right? Okay, let's get cracking. Now, over here, I've got some pre-soaked, drained and washed black-eyed peas. And then I've got coconut water. I freshly squeezed these from coconuts. This is the second squeeze. The liquid is the second squeeze. This is the last squeeze, not so thick. And I would set it aside and use it when more water is needed. And then I've got the creme de la creme. The first squeeze is so thick and concentrated. That is going to go in, I think, 10 minutes before it comes off the fire to just amp the coconutty flavor. And just before the fire is turned on, I've got, this is a half tablespoon of bicarbonate of soda. And I've got crushed allspice. That's the Jamaican influence. I've got lots of Jamaican influences, and then the very good waakye leaves from Ghana. So that is going to cook so the beans are softened to an extent, and then we'll carry on. Well, as you can clearly tell, the waakye over there just blew up because of the bicarbonate of soda. So I've lowered it, and I'll just put a spoon in it, and I've opened it up for a little bit. And over here on my hot frying pan, I'm going to just brown some meat. This is red meat. This method is used when you want, you know, the crispy fried, see, I'm an Ashanti. I said flies. I mean the crispy fried version of deep fried cooking, but, you know, a healthier version is to brown the meat on each side and then boil it, and you're left with the same kind of texture and deliciousness. So this is for the stew, waakye stew. So that's red meat. And over here, I've got some, let me show you. I've got some liver and onions boiling away with some seasoning, bouillon cubes. And that's going to boil. That's going to boil for 5 minutes, and then I'll turn it low, because there's nothing more annoying than overcooked hard liver. The reason I add liver, I'm going to add liver to the stew, is because the secret to waakye, if you talk to waakye vendors, the secret to their unique taste in their stew is the addition of innards, okay, like liver, kidney, and in some cases some wele and shaki and things like that. That gives it a very unique taste. The same principle can be applied when you're cooking soups. Innards are great, or offals are great for, you know, strong flavors. So give it a go. I do think that bones as well work perfectly. But you know, meat on its own in dishes aren't so great sometimes. So you need to, it's all about flavor, you see. So this is going to brown, and then I'll cook it together with some chopped onions and celery and some bouillon cube. And then we start with the stew prep. Moving on along, I've got 4 eggs in a pan, and I'm just going to add the brown meat. See how brown that is. And then to the pan, before the fire alarm goes off, I'm going to deglaze the pan with water. And that is flavor that I'm going to use to cook the red meat, together with some chopped celery, some chopped green onions, some chopped green pepper, because the next thing is onions, so I'm mixing it up, and then some green onions, and of course a bouillon cube, and then the deglazed pan with the wonderful flavorful water. And then we'll leave that to boil. We'll leave that to boil for 20 minutes till the eggs are cooked and the beef is cooked and flavored with the vegetables as well. So the beans are boiling, and then I checked for softness. It's almost done after about, I'll say, half an hour of cooking. And so this is the time to add other flavorings to it as well. So I did go ahead and add some of the water, the lighter coconut water. So I'm going to be adding some thyme. And then some, I just opened up a scotch bonnet pepper for it to infuse in this water. And then I've got some spring onions going on. So to 2 cups of boiled beans, I went ahead and washed my rice till the water ran clear. That's 4 cups of rice. So that's gonna go in the pan. Give it a stir. Check the volume of water with my finger. That's about enough. So I'm just going to add salt at this point, because adding salt earlier would have toughened the beans up, as all connoisseurs of waakye know. So that's a bit of salt going in, and then it's left to cover. It's left to cook covered, and I'm turning the heat to medium low, gas mark 3, and then that will just steam on its own. In 15 minutes, I'll check it up. I'll just transfer it to this hob, because I'm going to use this hub for the rest of the waakye stew. Stay tuned. So the waakye is nearly done, and I'm going to add the creme de la creme of the coconut, squeezed coconut, the first one that has been salted. So it goes on top of the rice, and then I'll use a fork to turn the rice to ensure even cooking, and cover it up for the next 15 minutes, and then it will be done. So sizzling over here in a pot. When you're doing your own filming, the cameras have got to move. So sizzling away is lots of oil, rapeseed oil, and lots of onions. That's another secret to the taste of waakye stew. Don't worry, after everything is cooked, all the oil is going to be squeezed out for other dishes, for flavoring other dishes as well. Now, waakye stew demands lots of patience, so I've had to cook the onions for a bit, about 35 minutes. It is necessary to get to this type of texture where it's brown and smelling so good. So next to go in is a little bit of cayenne pepper, because there's pepper in the waakye already, in the rice already from the Scotch bonnet. And then this is the last bit of the sauce I prepped during the gobe, gari and beans video. That's going to go in. And at this stage, it's just left with flavoring. 15 minutes and it is done, because the sauce has already been cooked anyway. To go in are the proteins, the boiled eggs, peeled boiled eggs, and then this is the leftover fish from the kenke video, and then a beautifully cooked beef. I've added bouillon cubes, and obviously there's lots of salt everywhere. So I'll leave this to cook for 10 minutes for the salt in the proteins to release them in. And then in the last 5 minutes, I'm going to flavor it and then add the cooked soft chicken livers. And then we plate up, we add some bits and bobs to it, plate up and eat. Ha! The favorite part, ha! Now the heat is turned low, the last 5 minutes, so to go in are my lovely chicken livers. Give it a stir. This looks so yummy. And just a teensy-weensy bit of my homemade garam masala. Yes, I make my own spice mixes to my taste. So that is 1/4 teaspoon, because this is powerful. And we need just a little bit. Okay, I'll add a little bit to it. And then just stir and turn it off after 5 minutes. I've got some water boiling here, and to that I'm going to add Japanese udon noodles. Cook it to packet instructions, because that replicates the freshly made thalia, as is known back home. you know, like by the Hausa people. This is a good replacement. And then I'm going to be adding gari, and you know how it goes. And then we'll eat. Meanwhile, we'll wait for the oil to settle at the top and then scoop every bit of it, because that's too much oil for consumption. So that's all the oil from the stew. I'd say 90% of it. I'll just cover it up because this is flavored oil for everything else, not for long-term cooking, just to flavor dishes. And then that's the stew now. Okay, so that's the shito, leftover shito from the Anwamu video. And the cooked udon noodles have been flavored with the shito, same as gari. I added a bit of the stew from the waakye stew and the shito. And then this is my salad for today. These are cut up courgettes. And you know how creative minds work. I had put some, all of my salad dressing, and I was standing there and my mind went, how about that leftover orange over there? So I picked it up and then grated the rind and cut up the oranges and added it to the salad, and it tastes so good. And this is how the courgettes look like. I got it from Marks and Spencer. They're all courgettes, but these ones are called patty pans. But they're all, tiny courgettes, and they can be eaten raw. So that's my salad. And then the tea of choice today is the lemon orange peels soaked in hot water. That's the tea. So let's sit down. And today is serve yourselves. Serve yourselves type of, vibe going on. So I've got a buffet kind of thing going on today. And I'm going to be putting the leftovers in these. That's how I store leftover food. So I've got my salad pouch here labeled. I've got the stew container, the gari container, and the udon noodle container. Because sometimes you don't have as much appetite, to eat. So it's best to serve in bits and bobs till you're satisfied. And it's a very economical way of living as well. And so let's get on with the buffet and package the rest. All right, so the master taste is going to have a seat. And then I've got some waakye. A little gari to go along. Not much. Some noodles, udon noodles. Very fat and delicious.